We back. Welcome back to the Different Views podcast. Everybody join in. Got a special guest coming in, man. My brother, former BIA corner and nickelback for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Highly recruited out of high school, national champion, and a ninja warrior. But without further ado, Armani Reeves, y'all.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? What's up, G?
What up, man? Appreciate you coming on, man. Taking the time out your day. Come on and talk to the people and talk to me about your journey, man.
I appreciate you having me, man. It's been a minute since we talked for real, but it's been we've been keeping contact over the years and just following everything you've been doing, league, post league. So it's been a blessing to see that. And yeah, man, it's been a crazy journey, bro. Both of us, for real, for real.
I was about to say, we kind of had a similar journey, but just different injuries and different stuff. Yeah. But yeah, man, I've been watching you for real too. Like seeing the stuff that you do has also inspired me to, help with the youth in football and all that. But yeah, definitely watching your journey and seeing you grow as a man too, bro. I mean, forget football, man. We brothers off the field, so it's always a blessing to just see my guys doing well,
For sure.
But I just wanted to, because obviously we met at Ohio State, so I don't know everything about your upbringing and all that. So just go a little bit into your upbringing. You don't got to be like detailed, but just a little bit about your background and how you got to Ohio State.
Yeah, man. So even getting to Ohio State was an interesting journey. I got my first scholarship offer going into my 8th grade year. It was crazy because I was at BC football camp, and I had ran like a 4.49 or something crazy like that. I was skinny back then, so it was easy to run. And I remember one of the coaches came up to me and said, "You're going to be a great player one of these days, but just want you to know you always have a home here." So that's kind of how my recruiting journey started. And then I was blessed I was the number 6 corner in the 2012 class with some great guys that was in that class: Ronald Darby, Stephon Diggs, Noah Spence. I mean, we had a pretty loaded class. But before I even got to Ohio State, I was committed to Penn State.
Oh, bro, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was committed to Penn State, and that was the year the whole Sandusky stuff had happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was committed there. Then that whole scandal broke, and obviously, my godbrother Cameron, we went to the same high school. So, man, just dealing with that was crazy. I remember one day we got to school, and CNN was at our school trying to get comments from us because of all the whole paternal things and Sandusky, and we were some of the top recruits in that class at the time. So just going through that and seeing. It was cool because I went to a private school, Catholic Memorial, and we had a whole bunch of TVs in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
And so that's when Twitter just became a thing. So I was being like, "Love you, Joe Pa," like I'm committed, like I'm staying committed. And I would look eating my lunch, and I would see my tweets on the screen. And so for like a week, I had to eat lunch by myself because the school said it was a distraction, and they wanted me to focus on the season, and everybody in the school. So it was a crazy journey. And then when they fired Coach Paterno, I decommitted. And then literally, it was like a week later, Coach Meyer, I got hired at Ohio State. And so, and G, you know this, I wasn't a big football guy in high school. I was basketball, just like you. I just wasn't as good as you. But when you called me, we were about to play Severian, one of our rival high schools. And I remember it was yesterday. He called me. He said it was Urban Meyer. I had no idea who he was. I was like, some random dude named Urban just called me. And so he told me, had an offer there. And at the time, I was going back and forth between them and Michigan.
That's crazy. I was committed.
Yeah. And so Brady Holt came to the house, and then a week later, because I only had 2 weeks to decide on school after I decommitted. Coach Meyer
Did you go early?
No,
did you go early? Oh, you didn't go early? Okay.
Yeah, I went in the summertime. That wasn't a big thing. Like a few dudes in the class used to go early, but it wasn't a big thing at that time. There were maybe like 5 or 10 dudes that came early. But overall, I think like Tyvis and like Josh Perry, I think were a few that came early in my class. But when Coach Meyer came to my godparents' house, 'cause that's where we all met, he told me 3 things. He was like, "You're gonna win national championship, you're gonna get a degree, and you're gonna play in the NFL." And that just stuck. So that just stuck with me. And I remember that Monday before signing day, I was sitting in a high school parking lot at like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, man, I gotta call fucking Michigan and tell them I'm not going there.
Yeah.
And so I called Brady Holt, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to Ohio State. And like he said, and I quote, "That's a terrible decision," and hung up.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So I'm sitting in the parking lot of my high school. I'm just like, dang, he really just said that. And so and I went to Ohio State, man. So it's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's it ain't exactly, but that's similar to how it went with me, because I decommitted from there with Greg Madison. But when I waited, and it's crazy because you have the respect and you're a respectful person to actually call him and tell him. Most kids won't even do that. Like, I did the same thing. Like, Greg Madison came to my school just to check up on him, but I told him, like, man, I'm decommitted. And he thought I wanted to go to Ohio State. What's crazy is when I decommitted from there, I didn't even want to go there. I was trying to go to Cincinnati because they was going to let me play offense. But I just wanted to take a visit because I ain't know, like you said, like, we basketball players, we ain't been recruited like that. So I ain't know nothing about the visits. Like, you get the 5 free visits and all that. So I was like, man, I'm about to take a visit because I only took a visit to Michigan. But when I told him decommitted, he like, that's a terrible place to go. They're a bunch of liars. You don't want to go there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. So I went there, whooped their ass.
It was crazy. Actually, the craziest high school recruiting story, and I won't say the coach's name because I think he's still coaching, but he was at Notre Dame at the time. And it wasn't the head coach, but it was another coach. When I decommitted from Penn State, and it was down to Michigan and Ohio State, they tried to come in at the last minute, and he came to my school unannounced. And asked if he can meet with me and then my head coach. And he sat me down, and I kid you not, the first thing he said was, "Why are you going to pick those schools over Notre Dame?" And I kind of went through, like, I think it's better fit for me, this, that, and the third. And then he said, "Well, they don't graduate Black athletes."
What?
He pulled out a sheet of paper and was like, all the schools, like, a percentage of Black athletes, and just going off like, I don't want you to be a bum on the streets with no degree because you decided to play football and not go to the greatest university in the world. And
that's crazy.
My head coach at the time, Coach Campia, he was like, don't talk to my player that way. I need you to leave respectfully. And he was like, Armani, respectfully, if I see you go to jail in the next few years, I would not be surprised. I'm sitting there like, bro,
that is wild.
Yeah, bro. I was like, bro, I don't even drink. How am I gonna go to jail?
That's wild as shit, man. Coaches is crazy, but they'll say and do anything to get you to go to their school, man. That's wild. And crazy thing is, Greg Madison ended up coaching at Ohio State. I was just like, man, what the fuck?
Right,
bro. Crazy.
Their loyalty is just as shady as some of ours, but we high school kids, we can't compare the two.
Exactly, not at all. Yeah. But going to, because I didn't even know you was committed to Penn State. Like, how do you feel about like that whole situation, like that happened with like the coaches and all that?
Man, it was an unfortunate situation because a lot of those dudes, they've been there for 20 plus years. Like, I remember when I was going to visit, because my older godbrother used to visit Penn State before he went to UNC. I used to go on the visits, and those same coaches that were there when I was in 7th grade were the same coaches that were there when I was a junior in high school, and when I committed. So I think my mom still has a picture of all of us and Joe Paterno and at the house posted up because she really liked Coach Paterno. So just knowing them from that perspective, and then seeing how the media portrayed them and portrayed Joe, it was like one of those things where it was hard to understand, because I'm young. I don't understand like the landscape of what's going on, and all I just see is people saying the craziest things about showers and little what. So it was a tough thing to go through, but just seeing those guys, just seeing their faces, man, and just seeing all the hatred that they were getting, all the crazy stuff they were going through, it was tough. It was tough. Yeah. I really cared about them as people, not just coaches.
Yeah, no, I feel that, bro. Especially when you got a connection with people, because everybody doesn't have the same experiences with people that other people do, or obviously that the media puts out for people too, because media will spin a whole different story and make it way worse than what it really is. Obviously the situation is a serious situation, but
absolutely,
like you being behind the scenes and knowing some of the people there, like you got a different experience and the real experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure. That's crazy. I didn't even know that you were committed there. But so we get to Ohio State, right? You Urban's first class.
Yeah.
Well, because we was no, it would have been you. It would have been you.
Yeah,
you were the first class. We were the second class.
Yeah.
2012, right? Yeah. Yep. So your first class, how was the experience with him coming in as a freshman? I know I got my experience and I wanted to quit. So I want to know if everybody else had the same experience as me. Bro, how was it going in with Urban his first year?
It was hell. It was fucking awful, man. Like not because he was a bad, like, the thing with Coach Myers, he is who he is. Right? Mm-hmm. He's not gonna change for anybody. If you're a dude, he's gonna take care of you, you handle your shit. But if you're not a dude, he's gonna make life miserable for you. And that's just what it was. And me coming from Boston, bro, football is not a thing. Like they don't care about football. So I get here and they talking about all this nonsense and doing all these gassers, bro. I ain't never ran like that in my life. I thought I was ready to go. I think we ran like 8 half gassers, no time. And bro, I thought I was dead. I thought I'm never gonna make it. And so it was even worse because he just wanted to make an example out of everybody. So like if y'all didn't, if people didn't do what he wanted them to do, like it was known. Like we had it bad. Like that senior class had it bad. It was awful. So that first training camp, I'm running with the twos. This is when actually I got my first concussion. I'm running with the twos, and at the time we were doing double. You do a double 2-a-days.
Yeah.
But that's
when it was still a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can have shoulder pad full in the morning, and then you can have the actual shoulder pads. And Coach Meyer, even if you had shells, like
that's just a full practice.
Yeah, bro.
Full pads.
And I'm a freshman, bro. I'm not comprehending this. And Roby, it was this one practice that Roby didn't practice on the second practice. So I was out there with the ones. Mm-hmm. And I remember Coach Meyer said ones against ones. And I'm like, all right, cool, bet. Like I'm gonna do this, right? It's just done. It's just done. 2 plays goes in. He doesn't like the energy. He starts the period over, and then he goes, "It's live." I said, "No way, bro. There's no way." I kid you not. They ran a G trap, and it was a trade G trap. So the tight end blocked the D end, and we have to fill that gap.
Yeah.
And Carlos Hyde, bro.
Man, that's crazy because he was my first experience too.
Hey, Carlos came to that hole and just ran me over, bro. And I never met a man that was so strong and just like treated me like a rag doll. I'm coming from high school and I'm a hit stick. I hit people hard. And then he came at me, and when I tell you I couldn't feel parts of my body for like 3 seconds because this dude just ran me over like I was a piece of paper and just kept on moving. And so the training camp was tough, and I remember calling my mom one night. It was like the second week of training camp, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Mm-hmm. And she was like, why? And it wasn't even because of football itself. It was like, I'm so tired that I don't even know how to concentrate.
Yeah. Everything you was just going through, school,
workout,
practice.
Yeah, and we had Michigan reminders or Team Up North reminders.
Yeah.
Well, that year we had to do them at the end of the second practice.
Yeah, that's
and
wild.
So we doing push-ups, up downs, sit-ups. I about wanted to throw up, and Coach Combs, bro, like Coach Combs. God damn it, I'm like, I'm trying, man, I'm trying. Coach Combs is on my ass. And then that was also the year ESPN came and filmed training camp.
Yeah.
So
they'd be an extra.
Yeah, so they're all in my face and stuff. And then there was one practice we were doing drills, and I got clowned by all my boys back at home because we were doing backpedaling. You know how Coach Combs be throwing the ball hard as shit for no reason. So he threw the ball awful. I dropped it, and then on live television, he goes, "Do they play football up in Massachusetts?" Like, man, and then they showed it on TV, bro, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to do this no more."
That shit was wild. It's a lot of Buckeyes in here, Buckeye fans in here right now. They said Bobby. I seen this. I don't know if you seen the video of Bobby Carpenter. He was doing the gassers. He do it like every year. So he go every year. He go to the field. One of the I think the turf fields at the Woody, and he does like the conditioning test that they had back in the day. But he does like I think it was like 18 or 20 gassers or something like that. Something crazy. But he just did it again at like 47 years old. So
good for him.
But it's a lot of people in here from Buckeyes just showing love. And they said, Zach Smith, love you. I don't know if you've been talking to Zach lately. I've been following his podcast and his all his social media. He be doing film reviews and all that.
Yeah. Zach, Coach Smith was one of the smartest coaches, honestly. One of the smartest coaches I had ever been around. But he was also one of the realest coaches. He would never bullshit you, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot from him.
There you go, right there. Zach, yeah, man. Zach a real one, man. Fuck with you, Zach. Everybody loves Zach.
Yeah, but yeah, it was that first season was some shit, man. But I learned a lot. From that season. Honestly, not just from the coaches, from the seniors, because we couldn't go to a bowl game.
Yeah.
We went 12-0. We couldn't play the national championship. So they was really just playing for pride and not understanding that as a young player, especially being a freshman, not understanding, everything that they went through. They just lost their head coach. They went through all this scandal and all this stuff. And now we got this dude from Florida that they don't really fuck with. Trying to tell them how to win, but they've won before. Exactly. So they know two different ways of winning and trying to understand and comprehend, hey, Presso did it his way, but we're going to do it our way because successful as well. I think that was the biggest challenge for that staff, was trying to mold those guys into seeing that there's two different ways to win. But right now we're going to do it our way. But they set the tone for how, the classes beyond that, we're going to react and to all the coaching and all the hard training that we did. So I really respected a lot of those dudes in that class, especially like Zach Bourne, because just seeing those guys, man. The stuff that they had to go through, man, was just real tough. It was real tough.
Yeah. So explain. I got a couple people asking questions. I'm gonna get to y'all questions in a minute, but I want them to explain his journey first at Ohio State. So just go through just like a broad journey for you at Ohio State, because I know when I got there as a freshman, you were a corner, and I remember obviously Roby was hurt, and then you played some games at corner, but then obviously when you made most of your plays, from what I seen and like where you stood out, was at nickel when you became a nickel, and then the year we know in the Natty, obviously, and then obviously what happened with the concussions and all that. Can you just go into your journey and explain how it went?
Yeah. So it was my time at Ohio State is one of those things where I love being a Buckeye and I love my school and I have so much pride, but it was probably like the hardest 5-6 years of my life between playing and then going after and coaching. Yeah. Because I didn't feel like I could ever get to my full potential because I was always hurt. Not because of physically, but because of my concussions. Yeah. I got my first concussion my freshman year in training camp. I went up for a ball. It's crazy because my first concussion, my last concussion was almost the same. I went up to try to catch a pick and I fell on my head and I was frozen. And so it was a tough journey because I would always find some way to get on the field and play, but then I would have a setback and I would get a concussion. So my freshman year, I was a starting kick returner. And you know, I did really well there, hurt my ankle, then had concussions issues. So, you know, was the second string and just ended up doing special teams. And then my sophomore year, like you said, Roby was dealing with some stuff. And so I started the first game of my sophomore year against Buffalo. And I didn't really play that well, just to be completely honest. And I put so much pressure on myself because I had a good spring ball, I had a good training camp. And to go out there and not perform the way we were accustomed to performing, I was really hard on myself that whole year. And I had a lot of opportunities to get on the field and play. And I think looking back on it, I did better than I thought I did. But at the time, I just wanted to be the best, BIA. I wanted to be the best. And I didn't feel like I was holding myself up to that standard. But I also had concussions my sophomore year too. I had a concussion against Illinois coming off a blitz, and I remember watching the film. Came off a blitz, someone hit me, one of the linemen hit me, and I ended up walking. The play's going this way, and I ended up walking that way.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and so I mean, just the concussion started, and then my depression and my anxiety because of wanting to be on the field and play, and dealing with all that just got really, really bad. And so my junior year. That was probably the hardest year ever playing any sport because I went from, felt like I was one of the best nickels in the country, if I'm being completely honest.
For sure.
And I couldn't stay on the field because I was getting hurt because of concussions, and I was really, really hurtful, and I couldn't go to class. I went from having, over a 3.0 to I got D's that fall semester because I legit couldn't go to class because I couldn't focus.
Yeah.
And my ex-girlfriend at the time, she had to drive me to class and stuff like that, just because I couldn't do anything. And so just going through that was tough. But also when I was on the field, I was producing, so that made it even harder. And then when they told me that I couldn't play anymore, that was probably the hardest. That was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And I'm sure you remember, like I still worked out with you guys because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I worked out that whole spring with you guys, and I didn't miss a beat, even though they told me I couldn't play. And it really wasn't because of anything other than like I still felt like I could play, and I also that's all I identified myself as a football player. So that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And so that was really challenging. And there was a lot of hard nights, man, where I was watching film. I would watch film with you, Garrett, Marshawn, trying to help you guys get better. But after I would watch film with you guys, I'll go on the field and do some more work because I feel like I can still play. And so I tried to come back and play. And unfortunately, the Ohio State medical staff wouldn't let me come back and play. So I tried to transfer. And ultimately, I couldn't get signed off because at that time you couldn't just transfer just anywhere. So after that, Coach Meyer gave me the opportunity to coach, and that's why I started coaching with you guys and trying to help you guys be the best players that y'all can be. But I cried a lot of nights, man. I mean, when we played Virginia Tech, I cried that game because like that's when it finally hit me that like I'm never playing football again. And I for a long time I didn't even want to be around football. Like honestly, if it wasn't for like hanging out with you, because me and you, we hung out almost every day during that time, and Malik too. I mean that
going to eat.
So that was So my journey, man, I would say when I was on the field, I was productive, but I just couldn't stay on the field because my concussion, I just couldn't shake it, man. There was nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. No, man, all respect to you because, I mean, I feel like my injuries was very, 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 like, just challenging, but that was in the league. Like, to have yours that early and you being that young, because, like, I don't know if I could be able to handle it the way that you did like that young, because that's a lot to go through. And then obviously even with injuries, like mine was a leg, like so that's more like obviously every injury has a mental battle, but that's
Yeah.
more like physical. Like that's just
Yeah.
pain my leg. Like concussions, that's mental. Like
Yeah.
so you, like you said, your depression, anxiety, all that stuff, like you're going through that while actually having brain damage. Like
Yeah.
that's tough to go through. So I applaud you for just getting through that. And I'm glad to be able to be like someone, obviously indirectly, because I didn't know exactly what you were feeling, but just to be indirectly being able to help and be there for you. Like, I'm glad I was able to do that for you.
Yeah.
But
Appreciate that.
definitely was, man, when you were on the field, like everybody felt your presence, like
Yeah.
every time. Like, and then even when, like you said, when you weren't on the field, we still felt your presence. Like, always helping us out. We like appreciate you always watching film, extra film, teaching us stuff. And then I remember my last year, or not even my last year, that 2015 year, in my last year, like you always critiquing me because you know me, I'm never like a person to brag or think I'm too big to listen to somebody.
Yeah.
Like always told you like, hey, watch me do this prep or like tell me what I'm doing wrong here. Like you were always in my corner, like just helping me get better. So I appreciate that for sure, bro.
Yeah. Nah. Appreciate y'all boys. I think.
Got a question. What was your favorite moment at Ohio State?
True. My favorite outside of winning that championship, my favorite moment, my favorite moment really was being in the locker room with the guys, man. There's one thing about football that people we say it all the time, but you never get that camaraderie back. And obviously I didn't get a chance to play in the league, but that camaraderie that you get with dudes in the locker room going through the same stuff, you don't get that. And I've been around football since I stopped playing, and just being able to be around guys joking, laughing, having a good time, talking about making fun of the coaches, making fun of each other. I've seen them do slap box in the locker room, just doing stupid stuff, man. You don't get those moments back. And I truly miss those moments. Now I'm an adult, and I see the kids at my camps and stuff like that. And I just always tell them, just enjoy these moments, man, because once it's gone, and there's no other way you can replicate it. It really isn't.
Yeah, definitely, man. We used to sit in the locker room for hours after the workout, getting whooped or something, just sitting in there kicking it. Like, definitely ain't the same in the league. I used to be the first one out the building. Anybody trying to be in there, like, it's way different for sure.
I remember you spent 2 hours trying to teach me how to backflip.
Man, that's fun, bro. First and foremost, love my guy. Appreciate you. Derek Philo. That was my teacher back in the day in high school. So blessed to have crossed paths. Both of you double major injuries. How did that adversity help you to become a better man looking back?
Oof, let me go first.
Yeah.
I would say if it wasn't for all that I went through, I probably wouldn't be the person that I am, and I wouldn't be doing the things that I do now if it wasn't for those moments. The thing about going through injuries that no one talks about, it's like you said earlier, it's a mental battle that you're constantly battling, not only just the outside perception, but yourself too. Because there's things that you know that you can do, but your body physically won't let you do. And something as simple as so to this day, I can't read a book. Like I can't read a paperback book without getting headaches. And I like reading. I like learning. I like doing those types of things, but there's just limitations that you have. And so trying to force yourself as an athlete, and you're always going to be an athlete, to battle through those things and overcome. That's one of the hardest things. You're your biggest critic. And so when you're dealing with all that adversity, man, I went to therapy for years. I still go to therapy. I always recommend it to anybody because that helped me get through a lot of the mental stuff that I was going through, and all the depression and the suicidal thoughts I was going through at that time. That really helped me push through, and just being around good people like I know there was days I didn't want to get out of bed, but I was like, nah, I can't let my boys down, because even though I was a small piece of the puzzle, there might have been something that I could have helped y'all with. That ended y'all ended up making a play, because I was able to find something on film. So just battling through all that and just finding another purpose outside of just yourself was the piece of the adversity that you had to find and overcome.
Yeah. And then you even saying, like, I peeped, you said, like, you didn't even want to be around football, like, for a minute. So, like, for you to be around football still now, like, that obviously, like you said, it molded you to be the person you are today. Because some people, like, would just want to stay away from it because they'll be running from it. You know what I'm saying? But you did it. You attacked it for sure. So, what was y'all most challenging assignment while at Ohio State? Like, who did y'all have to study and prepare for the most? I'm going to let you go.
Sammy Watkins.
He snapped again.
And if you watch the film, he caught one ball on me, but the stats will show that he had like over 200 yards, and that was all on the slot.
Yeah,
but if
you actually all screens and
all
stuff,
screens, bro. But no, I mean, with Sammy Watkins is an amazing player. But just watching him on film and then seeing him live. First off, I didn't realize he was that tall.
Man, he was way bigger in person.
Way bigger than and the dude was solid too. So
yeah, he was strong. He ran over there. I was like, oh shit.
I saw him walking the sideline. I was like, I gotta guard that. I was like, shit. So the first play. So if you go back and watch the Orange Bowl, like one of the first few plays of the game, I forget. He ran like some type of it was a screen, or he was just blocking me. And if you actually watch me, I didn't even try to stop the play. I just went straight for his knees, because that was the only way I could slow that man down. Because I mean, he's a freak athlete, man. I was just trying to do any way to help us. But that was the hardest. That was the most preparation for any receiver that I ever went to. And even with all that preparation, there's just some God gifted abilities that you just can't prepare for. And seeing what he did to us in that game, doing literally the same play over and over and over again. And, even Rick Shazier had a hard time tackling him. And so that was my hardest, guy to prepare for sure.
Yeah, I remember watching that game, because that was my redshirt year. And I was just like, man, these dudes different. Like, their whole team was just stacked with elite athletes. Yeah. But it's crazy. So I feel like we got like damn near the similar journeys. Like, my hardest task was fucking Clemson. Like, we played Deshaun Watson, Mike Williams, and like I forget. Oh, Hunter Renfrow. That was the other.
Yeah.
And they was just whooping. We lost 31-0. That was my last game at Ohio State. Like, got our ass whooped. I had to pick the second play of the game. Like, thought we was about to go out, dog them. Got whooped after that.
Yeah. Well, bro, I mean, our defense that game, because I was on the staff at that time, our defense played good, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I was played great. Man, offense was on some bullshit. They was on some bullshit.
Bro, I think we had 4 turnovers that game.
Man, and I think we missed 2 field goals.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
it was bad, bro. Like, when's the last time you heard of Ohio State not scoring? Like, a point.
It's a team sport, but some help was needed.
Man, we got to pick that game. I think we had like 3 or 4 sacks. Like,
yeah, bro. I think Webb got a
Who?
Webb?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
We got 3 picks, 3 sacks, or 4 sacks, something like that, bro. You can't lose 31-0 with all them stats. Like, crazy,
insane.
Bro.
Insane.
Wow.
So,
today, the Zach. I knew Armani could play. 2013 training camp. I think he guarded Philly and jumped the route with crazy feet, acceleration. And I looked at Tom Herman and said, Roby is a monster. And then we went to the end zone copy, and it was Armani as a sophomore. Concussions and injuries suck, but the ones there know how crazy talented Armani was. No, we definitely know for sure, bro. He said, happy to see you doing well. Always a fan.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
That's a real one.
Yeah, it's always nice to see people, give some praise to that. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I will tell you, like, my working in college football, I give all the respect to those coaches. I think I had two of the shittiest experience working in college football anyone can have. Obviously, coaching while thinking you can still play, that was tough. And then I was the assistant director of player development after I left Ohio State at the University of Maryland. And this is part of that, my journey. I was there with DJ Durkin and Rick Court, which you remember Coach Court.
Coach Court, yeah.
I mean, my God, I honestly, one of my biggest regrets is losing touch with Coach Court, because everything that we went through at Maryland, he helped me so much. And I was young, man. I was 23. I was 24. One of our players had passed away from heat stroke.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, while doing training, and just going through that, man, that was something. One, I never seen a player, pass away like that. So going to the hospital and seeing, him hooked up in all these, machines, and going to the funeral and telling his parents that, I felt like I failed them because, their son's supposed to come home at the end of the day, and he didn't. And obviously it had nothing to do with me, but just, seeing an 18-year-old man just go through something like that, you can't unsee that. And there was so much turmoil. I mean, a lot of coaches know this, and I know coach knows this. Imagine going through a whole season, or imagine going through a whole year knowing that you're going to get fired at the end of a season because of nothing that you were a part of. And you still have to show up every single day for those kids because they had nothing to do with it either. I mean, that was more challenging, honestly, than stop playing football, because it wasn't about me at all. It was about those kids, all those 115 guys on the team that just saw one of their brothers. They'll never see one of their brothers again. And, we're talking to lawyers. We had, all this different stuff. And, the media is passing the blame to this coach and that coach. And I think it really hurt me and Coach Court's relationship, because, I'm being pulled one way by the administration, and then he's my guy. And, unfortunately they let him go before the season was even over, or they parted ways. But I would say, like, just, losing someone that I looked up to and that helped me get that job, and seeing that was really tough. And that was when I was like, all right, I think I need to get away from college football.
Yeah.
And get to how can I still help kids, which is what I do now. So.
Yeah, that was about to be my next question too. Can you just explain, like, what you're into now and, like, how you got into getting into it?
Yeah. So, I've been blessed to do a lot of really cool things, and, being able to shape some of these athletes that are in college now, and now they're getting to the point where some of these guys are in the NFL. So, I'm a general manager of a football camp called Next Gen, and we focus on helping athletes get to the next level. So we do 12 different cities around the country, and essentially we film everything. We do 40 shuttle, everything you can name up, and we send it to all the Division I schools, Division I, Division II, and Division III schools around the country, and just give them a platform to showcase their skills, and play at that next level, and more importantly, get a free education. So we've been around for 12 years now, 11 or 12 years that we've been around. I've been a part of it since I left Maryland, and just seeing all the guys that have come through our camps, man, it's been a true blessing. Like Trayvon Henderson came through our camp. I'm trying to think of who else. We've had some really good athletes. So sorry, there's been so many, just hard to name. But seeing them play on Saturdays, knowing that they came through our camp was truly amazing. And that's been my way to kind of give back to the game, helping these guys. And I always say, if I can help one guy that wasn't highly recruited get a scholarship, change his life forever, then, I did my job. And, that's why God put me on this earth. So I've been blessed to do that. And I've also been blessed to do a lot of different activations with student sports and Nike, and working with the Elite 11 and that staff that brought that did the opening back in the day. Being able to like go full circle. I was the first class to do the opening, and now here, doing the Elite 11 and doing all the all 22s and stuff like that, and working with those same people that recognized me back when Matthew Hatchett and Fletch, all those guys that saw me when I was in high school. Now I'm working with them, and seeing, I saw Jeremiah Smith when he came to one of the Elite 11s. It was actually funny because he came to the Elite 11 that Julian Sane was at to run routes, and seeing all those guys come through those events and take the same path that I did, and now seeing them playing on Saturdays, it's pretty awesome, just to be a part of that. And then obviously doing some of the Nike activations, I've been able to travel all over the world, travel to Europe, travel to Mexico, doing, Super Bowl events, college football playoff events, working with flag football internationally as well, through Nike and that group. And so it's been truly a blessing just to be able to hit all aspects of the game from a grassroots level and be able to have my hand on it and seeing these guys go through it all. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, that's lit. And people, these kids will never know about the opening back in the day. Like you was the best of the best if you got to go there. Like I ain't even get invited. I was so pissed. Like I wanted to go to the opening. No, bro. I was so pissed. I wanted to go to that so bad because it was in Oregon, right?
Yeah, it was in Oregon.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Oregon, man, get all the gear. Like,
yeah, man.
Lit. But no, the opening was lit. I didn't know that was the same people who do what you no, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool coming back full circle and working alongside those guys and being able to go to all these. I did a really cool activation with them this fall, working with USAA and the NFL, and I was able to go to 8 different training camps, NFL training camps, and do stuff for active military, putting them through combine drills and so just being able to, travel to all these different, going to the Chicago Bears, the Ravens. I did a lot of different teams this past summer. So, man, it's been, I've had a really cool journey being able to, didn't get a chance to play in the league, obviously, but I've been able to help so many young men and young women, honestly, and help them grow their game, become better. And I've been able to, get to travel the world and show people, not just in America, but all over, what the game of football is, and, being a part of that puzzle and being responsible for that. And, talking to little 7 and 8-year-old kids that don't know a lick of English, but you say backpedal, they know exactly what that means. And seeing them, learn the game from not knowing it at all. It's been pretty cool to be blessed to have that up on my shoulders.
Yeah, that's fire, man. Yeah, I definitely gotta make one of these camps. We talked about it before. So with both of y'all being around kids a lot, mentoring them, what's the biggest advice y'all stress to y'all kids the most?
Yeah, the biggest advice I tell kids all the time is watch your circle. Especially nowadays, man, you got NIL, you got money. Some of these days kids can get NIL money in high school. And unfortunately, whether it's agents, marketing agencies, your friends, your teammates, coaches, and sometimes even your parents, they put so much pressure on these guys to perform at a high level for the money instead of doing it for the love of the game. And so I always tell them, keep the main focus. You're gifted to play football. Don't ever forget that. You're going to have a lot of money thrown at you. You're going to have these colleges tell you you're this and you're that, but as long as you're focusing on what you're focusing on, which is the game of football, getting better every single day, whether you do have it, you need to maintain it. And if you don't have it, you need to get there, but you don't get there without working hard, training, watching film, being around people that want to see you succeed because they genuinely care about your best interest, not because they want the bag with you. And I always tell guys, when you're going through this process, don't be afraid to let people go. Not everyone's supposed to be a part of your journey. Some people are supposed to be a phase in that journey, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you love them any less. Doesn't mean that they're bad people, but not everyone's meant to go with you where you're supposed to go. And I tell them that at a young age. And there's always one kid that gets to college and something happens, and I was like, damn, we miss one. Like, I wish we talked to that kid a little bit more. I wish that message got to him, because maybe things could have been different for him. And every kid's situation is different. But the tell them is to keep that thing the main focus, man. Play football because you love it and not because of the money, because it'll catch up to you at some point.
Yeah, that's obviously similar messages I be giving. Just like talking about their circle and who they hang around, and not even just friends, like family. You gotta watch family, you gotta watch friends, you gotta watch coaches. Like I always preach, and like you said, to the younger kids, because like they're starting to get access to so many things that adults have, or that we had as NFL players or college players, even at this high school, middle school level. So I'm like, y'all got to understand, like, don't be feeding into the hype. Don't be feeding into what's on social media. Like, you still got to, like you said, focus on football. You're trying to be the best. Like, you're not trying to be the highest player is usually one of the best players. Like, to get there, you have to understand, like, how to work hard, how to be disciplined on and off the field. I think that's my main message, is being disciplined on and off the field to the kids that I'm around, because they think like just because they're good, like that's going to do, like there's so many more people in the country that are good or just as good as you, or even better, even faster, even stronger. Like, and I'm trying to tell them, like, man, that happened to me. Like, I was a 4-star, got to Ohio State, in recruiting, like you said, they tell you everything you want to hear, they kiss your ass. I got to Ohio State and I'm like, damn, this ain't nothing like recruiting. Like, none of this is happening. Like, I want to quit. Like, so it's just like, I be telling them, man, like, don't be focused on just, like you said, the money, or because you're making plays right now that you're just satisfied. Like, nah, just keep getting better, keep having that work ethic, because it's so many more people out here that are just as good as you or better. Like, and if they're harder workers than you, then shit, even if they not as good as you, they could be a little bit like less like skilled or athletic, you know what I'm saying? But if they work hard and they're disciplined, they could go further than you. Like, you see guys go undrafted, or the no star, or the walk on, or whatever, make Hall of Famers, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't have the athletic ability or the NIL or the talent that you had. So gotta keep that mindset for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely a tough mindset and there things are being thrown at them so much younger. So I mean, I know if I was them at this age, man, I don't know if I could do it. You know what I mean?
I could.
Yeah, bro.
Because people always, I don't know if people talk to you about it, but like people be saying to me all the time, like, yeah, I know when you was at Ohio State, you was getting NIL, like, even though it wasn't real or like legal, I know you was getting money. I'm like, bro, I was not getting shit. I'm telling you, I wasn't for sure getting no money, because I would have took the shit. I ain't gonna lie. I would have took all the money people would have offered me. I wasn't getting shit. Like, and I feel like, I don't know if you feel like this, but like when we were there, obviously there was some dudes that was getting some paid, but it was offensive players. I felt like it was never defensive players, unless you was like a Bosa. Like, nobody on defense was really like getting offered money like that. Like, it was always the dudes who, obviously the quarterbacks, the running backs, but like the dudes who score touchdowns. Like, that's the people who they getting approached for. Like, I'm like, man, I had some students like buy me some meals or some drinks or whatever, like, cause they see me, but like I ain't never got offered no money. And people be thinking like, oh, you was at Ohio State. I'm like, no, bro. And I'm telling you the truth, because if I did, I would have took the money.
Yeah, bro. We used to have those big, because we used to have the bagels from Panera.
Yeah.
Man, I used to wait till everyone left, and I'd take the whole box out the back. I'd take it home, bro. I'm taking it to your place,
the meals where you walk out, like, we waiting to see if everybody got one. All right, I'm taking all these home. Like, I'm stacking them bitches. Probably eating week old pizza. Like, I don't care.
Not zero care in the world, bro. How long have been in there? It got mold on it? Nah, go ahead and put that up. He's just hungry.
Eating ramen noodles, all that. Like, I remember seeing 23 cents in my account. Like, it was crazy, bro. Like, these kids now, like, I love it for them that they're getting it, but I just feel like there needs to be some control over it. And then, like, I might sound like a hater, but I just feel like they giving them too much, bro. Like, it's just like you shouldn't be getting that much, because then it's like you don't really have a drive to go to the NFL for real. You know what I'm saying? Like it just don't even make sense.
Yeah, and dudes picked schools for the wrong reasons.
Hell yeah, and transfer.
Yeah, and you end up. I can't tell you how many kids will tell me, "Well, this school's giving me this much money," and I'm like, "All right, bro, but is it a good fit for you football wise? Is it a good fit for you academically? Is it a good fit for you? Do you fuck with the coaches? Nah, but the bag, and then a year later, they asked in the portal trying to find a home, and it's like because they're not happy or they were promised something that they didn't get as far as the NIL goes or anything like that, and I'm like, see, that's where your goals and how you get into your goal, it's not matching up, bro. And so, I mean, they getting a lot of money. And I don't
think. And they getting it in high school now. Ohio just passed theirs for yeah. Because this kid, I guess, and that's what. So like the situation, because my fiance told me, is this kid who is in like a struggle situation. He's trying to like feed his family, whatever. So he went to court in Columbus, and like fought for NIL to be passed in Ohio, because he's like, man, I gotta like feed my, like we can't eat, we can't. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but like he basically like want to feed his family. So like he's using football for that. Obviously, he want to take it further, and he has a good head on him because he even like literally took the legal stance and went to court and fought for it and actually won, and they passed it for NIL in Ohio. But it's just like situations like that. Like I understand, and I don't know everybody's situation. So even if like you aren't struggling that much, like you deserve to get some money off your name and likeness. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like a control factor, and it's like you said, your circle. Like, because if you got people like in your circle that just want you for money, like at a young age, 17, 16, shit, now what, 14, 15, 16, 17, all the way up till you get to college, like it's like you ain't gonna know how to control that or handle that at that young age. So it's gonna mess you up, and it's gonna intrude on your football skills and how you play and your performance. So absolutely, they don't understand that, bro. Like it needs to be some type of control over this shit.
Right. And I will say this. If anyone has a friend that's in college, wherever, if you don't think that an NFL team has seen you transfer to 3 different schools, and that's not in your profile, you're crazy, bro. Like everything that you do in college, they jot that stuff down. It is noted. They know exactly what you're doing. So they know if you get NIL money, if you're doing this, they know everything. So when you transfer to 3 different schools, I mean, that just shows what kind of player that you are. And you're not hungry. You don't want it. And if you're going to get to the league, like you're going to do the same thing. You're going to get puff and power. I don't got time for that.
Yeah, they're going to cut you after the league. They ain't worried about none of that. And then you're going to have no check.
Yeah. So college, regardless if you're playing or not, college is the time for you to get yourself mentally prepared for the NFL, because those dudes don't care that you're unhappy. Okay, you're unhappy. Go.
Yeah, like, get out.
Get out. Like I can find someone that's just as good as you and that wants to be here, and I could probably play him a little bit less. We've seen it over and over again of NFL teams letting guys go that are actually good players because they don't want to pay them because they feel like they can bring someone in for less money. It's the same thing in college, man. Like you prepare yourself for what you're trying to get to, and going to 3 different schools for whatever reason it may be. Sometimes you need to stay at that school because that's what you need as an athlete.
Hell yeah. So, you probably need some discipline and some structure.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be, bro.
Right.
He said, Armani, being a player wasn't your calling, but listening to your story, I had a feeling that was by design by the Lord the whole time. I have a feeling that he isn't done with you by far.
Appreciate that. I just want to continue to help kids, man. There's a lot of other things that I want to do out of life, and I'll achieve it for sure. But like I said before, man, if I can help one kid get a scholarship and help change his whole life, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's right. Cinnamon Crunch. I ain't gonna have that one. You got that one?
No. Hey, with the cream cheese on it.
Appreciate you, babe. That's my fiance.
What's up? Alignment is key, bro. That's real,
in.
though. Alignment is key.
Making money off your NIL is one thing. Buying players and recruiting is the problem. Players and people of any age should be able to make money off their NIL, but buying recruits is criminal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, trust me. And I don't want to ever put anyone's information out there, but there's a lot of broken dreams being promised out there to these guys, you know, saying they're going to get this, they're going to get that, and then they get to that college and none of that stuff happens, or very little of it happens. And you know, they're thinking they're going to go to school and get $500,000. And yeah, there's some that do get that money, but there's a lot that don't. And then they think that, well, you know, you told me I was going to get this and get that, and it's just like, man, it's no different than when we were told in college. I mean, yeah, there's money involved now, but we were told, oh, you're gonna be, you know, make a start.
Yeah, you're gonna start. You're gonna do this. Like, nah.
I got a first rounder in front of me. Ain't no fucking way I'm gonna start.
Who keep telling that when you go and leave the next day and go to Florida? Like,
right, exactly, man.
Go to fucking 5 home visits in fucking 5 days and tell each player the same shit. Well, what's crazy is, bro, I want to ask you because I'm not in the recruiting thing. Like, I went through it because my stepson, he goes to Nebraska. He's a corner in Nebraska. So I went through it a little bit, like watching him. But obviously, I'm training kids now, so I'm seeing a little bit more. But I don't know how colleges are operating. But since when did this fucking offer shit start? Like, these fake offers. Like, back in the day, like, if you had an offer, you had an actual offer. Yeah. Like, now they're like, oh, we want to offer you. And these kids are like telling me, like, yeah, I got 10 offers. I got this, that. And I'm just like, no, you don't. Like, where's the offer at? Like, you ain't got no official visit lined up. Like, how do you got an offer? Like, it don't make sense to me. And now it's just like they're offering kids, but that just means they're interested. It doesn't mean they have an offer. And there's one kid that I know, he had like 10 offers, like literally saying he had 10 offers, and he's a senior, and I don't know one offer that he really has now. Like, I'm just like confused. Like, when did that shit start? If you know, or like, how do you feel about that too?
Yeah. I mean, really, if we're being honest, this whole social media thing has really amped up offers. And some of it honestly is too, and just talking to kids, they think that they have an offer, even though a coach has probably never said you actually have a scholarship. And so there's some kids out there, unfortunately, that stretch the truth. I'll just leave it at that. But coaches, it is a big thing right now of coaches just throwing offers out there, but they're non-committal.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, and that's a big thing right now. And unfortunately, nothing with that is going to change, because I'd rather tell a kid that they have an offer and he turns into something, then cool, he had an offer. But if he doesn't, and he's trying to commit, it's one of those, you know. So
exactly.
I always thought, if you wait until you're actually able to get the official offer letter to say that you have an offer, that's at the end of the day, that's what it comes out to. If you don't get that paper or that digitalized, whatever the shit is, like, you don't have an offer from that school, and that's okay. You don't need to have an offer from every single school. Now, there's a guy out there, Bryson Wright, out of Florida, number 1 wide receiver in the 2028 class, I believe. He's a dog. I mean, he has almost every offer. He's one of those dudes that, like, every school probably did say he has an offer, but his film backs it up. And when that time comes to get that official, like, that happens. But there's a lot of kids out there that think, oh, this coach is interested in me, I got an offer. No. There's levels to this. And social media has gotten these kids thinking that they have offers just because a coach slides into your DMs and says, we want you to visit. That's not real.
Tell them to call that fake ass coach and ask if they can commit. If the answer is no, that's some bullshit.
Right?
And that's exactly what I told all the kids that I trained. I said, every time you go on a visit, unofficial or whatever, if you talk to a coach, ask them straight up, is the offer committable? That's all you need to ask. You don't got to be disrespectful, nothing. Just ask, like, is this offer committable? Like you said, if they say no, all right, then try to make your film, make that shit committable, or worry about the next school that has the committable offer. Like, it's like you said, it's more schools. Like, regardless, all them damn offers, you only picking one school, it don't matter. So like, just worry about the school that's actually giving you real shit to like look forward to, not no bullshit.
And you look at the math behind it, especially now with the transfer portal. Kids that are coming out of high school have a far less chance of actually going to a Power 4 school. So let's look at it. Let's look at it from just based off of rankings alone, but not who they're projected to be. But let's use someone that was a 3-star at our school. We'll use Tyvus. Obviously, Tyvus was an amazing player at Ohio State. Started, did amazing things. You know, NFL, all that good stuff. Saved the game for the team up north. But you look at someone that's a 3-star. Why would I, as a coach, offer someone that's a 3-star when I can go look at someone that's at another school in the transfer portal that's more developed, has been through a college program, that I don't have to teach him as much?
Hell yeah.
I'm going to pick that kid over a high school kid that's a 3-star every single day that's at a big Power 4 school. Let's just be completely honest. And that has nothing to do, you can be the most talented kid in the world. But that's going to happen, and a lot more that there are more and more classes that are getting taken up by transfer portal guys, and these high school guys are getting less and less opportunities to play, one as a freshman, but also get those big time offers. So as you're going through, and I would tell your guys, if you're going through the recruiting process, if a Toledo or a Bowling Green offers you, don't take away that offer. Because you can go ball at Bowling Green, and then 2 years later, you can be at Ohio State, Alabama. Now, I'm just giving an example, obviously, but there are stories of that happening, and a lot more of that's happening. You'll see a lot of guys in the transfer portal that are at these FCS schools, or those mid-tier schools, AAC schools, and end up playing at some good schools and getting good burn. So that path is okay, especially nowadays. Just because you don't get to go to Ohio State or an Alabama doesn't mean that your career is over. You actually have a blessing because you have 2 years to actually get good work on film, play early if you're that dude, and then you can go play at another school like that.
Exactly.
Like Jeremiah Smith is a once-in-a-lifetime generation.
Exactly.
So not everyone's going to be like that. There's some
most of them ain't, and I tell them, y'all ain't that. So don't think you about to get paid like that or go to that school. Just
I saw Jeremiah as a sophomore in high school. He looked like a grown-ass man then. Like, there's just some dudes that are different, and that's okay. But your path to get to maybe a little bit longer than some, but I just don't ever knock those little schools, because that can be your way to getting into a bigger program, or even just get into the league in general.
Yeah. No, I was definitely talking about like a Jeremiah Smith and a Caleb Downs. One, because like they're obviously the best players in college football, but they are a rare breed, like you said, like a once in a lifetime thing. But it's crazy because I use them as an example also. These guys are a rare breed and have this generational talent and athleticism, but they still work hard like they don't. Right. And that's the difference. And that's why you get a person, that's what I was saying, you get a person that's the highest paid in college football, or one of the highest paid, is because he is that guy athletically and talented, and he still works like he isn't that. So it's like he works like he doesn't have all that stuff. And I'm like, y'all be good or just okay and think y'all need to deserve the world or deserve an offer from Ohio State or deserve this big ass. And I like, no, you don't even deserve that shit. Like, I don't know about you. I'll be humbling kids. I don't care. I'll be telling like, man, I was way better than you when I was in high school. I ain't get no NIL, so I don't know why you fucking complaining or acting like you need to deserve all this shit. Like, I don't get it. So I be telling them straight up, like, I don't sugarcoat nothing with kids, but I always tell them like it's a balance with the kids that I get. Like, I'll always be hard on them and be transparent, but I always like tell them why, and I always show them that I care. And that's the reason why I'm hard on them, because ain't nobody else you might get a couple people, but not a lot of people are going to tell them the truth or help them like further in life because they're just babying them and making them entitled by thinking like they're just the best players ever and all this stuff. Like, no, you ain't that. But you can be, is what I always tell them. Like, you can work to be that, you can get that, but like you're not that yet. So don't be satisfied in thinking you are when you're not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like the way I do my camps, I try to run it as close, within the parameters, right? As close of what a college practice feels like. So the intensity behind the camps, I always start every camp off saying, how many kids want to play college football? Every hand goes up. How many kids want to start their freshman year? Every hand goes up. So I say, now when you come to a next gen camp, you're going to get tested like you would in a college practice. You get tested every single day. And so my mindset on a camp is everything's being filmed. So everything that you do is a reflection of you as an athlete. So I said, if you give me a half-ass rep on film, that's what you are. You're a half-ass player.
Exactly.
If every single rep is balls to the wall, I don't care if you drop a ball. But if you're giving me balls to the wall effort, when I send that to a coach and he asks me about you as a player, I can say to him, because we average about anywhere from 200 to 300 kids per camp. I can remember a good amount of kids that have come through my camp, and so if a coach asks me about them, I can rattle off because I watch every single film of every single guy that comes through. Hey, he does this well, he does this well. But the first thing I always say, like, he's got a motor or he doesn't have a motor.
Yeah.
So the conversation stops right there. And so that's how I operate my camps. And so I'm very hard. I'm probably the loudest. You know me, I don't yell a lot, but when I'm coaching, I'm probably the loudest person out there. So I stop everything. Like that's just how. But I want these guys to be prepared for what they want.
Exactly.
Under Armour, the other camps, they do their thing, but I feel like we prepare these guys for what's actually going to come ahead because we have that intensity and it translates. It really does.
Yeah, for sure. May y'all forever be blessed. Keep up the amazing work. Appreciate you, lady.
Thank you.
I play Call of Duty with her.
Okay.
We be getting it in on the rebirth.
I still suck at duty.
You be playing?
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah, we got to get on the rebirth for sure.
Nah, I can't play with you.
Why not? Oh, you can't play a game with me, bro.
Nah, bro. Last time I played with you went like 30-10, bro. I was like 9-14, some shit like that.
I'll be on the duty, man. I'll be spazzing. I ain't chat banned no more, so we got to get on.
I'll get on. I'm on that college football more.
They be chat banning me every 2 weeks, and they go to JUCO for 2 years, develop and sharpen your skill set, then transfer up. You still have 4 years of eligibility.
Absolutely, yes.
Some of Mac gets to Ohio State. Yeah, but I feel like going back to what you said, like with the offers and like going to big schools, like obviously, like if you get it, definitely like go. If you got a big school that you want to go to, whatever. But like you said, going to a MAC school or an American Comp or a Sun Belt or FCS is just like, one, you got to think about those schools play Ohio State, they play Alabama, they play Georgia at the beginning of the season. So you get to showcase, even if your team get blown out, if you a corner, say, and you get to guard Jeremiah Smith at who they play this year? Ohio University or who else did they play? Anybody, you know what I mean? Like an out-of-conference team, like a MAC team or a Sun Belt, whatever. You lock up Jeremiah Smith for one play, even if you go off after that. They're going to be like, who is this kid? He locked up Jeremiah Smith. Right. Now you got film to either go to Ohio State or whatever. Like, obviously, you're going to have to do more like during the season. But now, just off that one play, people are going to start watching you. So now they're going to watch the rest of your games for the rest of the season. So now, if you in the MAC conference, now you easily strapping up every receiver in the MAC conference. Yeah. Now you got the film to actually go to Ohio State. Or if you stay at that school the whole time. A dude from Toledo went first round this year. Like, you just showing that you have the ability to be a first-round pick or a draft pick or just make it in the league. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't about just going to Ohio State. And I always tell my players, I use Khalil Mack as a reference. Bro went to Buffalo, and his whole draft film, when you watch the NFL draft and when he got drafted, all they show is him playing Ohio State. Like that's it. They didn't care
That
about
man
all the other
single-handedly, yeah, that man single-handedly, it was Khalil Mack 7, Ohio State 28, I think, or 27 at the time. This man had 5 sacks, had a strip fumble touchdown. Like he was going against a first rounder. Yeah, bro. He was going against a first rounder. And so, and another thing that I tell guys too, and I think this is really important, not everyone is made for a big time school. Mm-hmm. There are certain things that come with going to, I said, Ohio State or Georgia. There's a certain type of mentality that you have to have, and not everyone is built for that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that you can't do it, but sometimes, especially nowadays, you gotta have thick skin to know that you probably won't play right away. You might not play the first 2 years because there's a dude that's gonna be a first rounder ahead of you. Mm-hmm. So are you mentally able to go practice after practice, get better, sharpen your skills, learn from the guys above you, learn from your coaches, get fucking dogged by your coaches or by the guy on scout team, whoever, every single day. And some guys aren't built for that early on. Some guys get, their development gets hurt because they thought something that they were going to be this player and they ended up not being there at that time. Yeah. And so, just because you got a Georgia offer or Ohio State offer doesn't always mean that you need to take it. You need to go where you feel like you can succeed. NFL will find you. Mm-hmm. Transfer now that the transfer portal, other colleges will find you if you're balling, but you have to put yourself in the best mental state to be the best player that you can possibly be. And sometimes going to those big schools, or even just going to a school that's giving you the most money, is not the right thing for you. Yeah. Make football the priority.
Yeah, going into that, you said the mental state got to be there. How do you cope with stress on and off the field? So I would say, like, what's your advice to players for coping with stress on and off the field to be mentally sharp?
Yeah, find things that you love that don't consist with football, and find the people that you love that can see you outside of an athlete. The two things that I know and I see people struggle with, and I know that I struggled with, is everyone still to this day views me as a football player, and that's great. That's what I am. I'll forever consider myself that. But it's always good to just be able to step away, whether it's your family, whether it's me. We used to go play basketball back in the day. That was our way to get away. Just being able to do different things outside of the game. One, because it gives you an appreciation for it, but also sometimes to be wrapped up in it every single day, it's hard. That's hard to do. I mean, even the best players in the world, you look at LeBron James, the Kobe Bryants, these guys, they step away from the game too. Mm. Now, when it's time to work, it's time to fucking go. Yeah. But they know when to step away from the game because that part of it helps you as well. And give you appreciation. So I would say find vices outside of the game. Now you got to find good vices, right? Mm-hmm. Doing drugs or alcohol, partying, being around the wrong people, trying to be someone that you're not. Those things aren't good for you. But find activities. Like people always laugh at me because when I was in college, I didn't go out at all until I stopped playing. Yeah. And I played basketball with you guys, but I was always at home just chilling. I played video games. That's just what I did. I like going for walks. Like every Monday, I would go for a walk after games because that was just my way to just reset myself and get ready for Tuesday for practice. And so just finding those things and finding your circle of people that love you outside of just being an athlete, it really does make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. I would say something similar. For off the field, definitely got to find something that just gets you away from football and reset your mind. Piggybacking off of what you said, like it just helps you like relax and calm your mind. And obviously that is going to help you. Like you said, you go for a walk or play video games, whatever, it helps you relax and refocus. So when you go back into Tuesday, you're fresh set, you're freshly like ready to go. Like it helps with your performance by doing that. And then I would say like off the field. I mean, on the field, I feel like dealing with stress on the field. I mean, as a DB personally, I just feel like you have to have that self talk one, and then you have to have a snap and clear mentality. Like you can't let one play get to you because at corner, like if you let one play get to you, it's gonna be over. You're gonna have a bad day, bad game. Like it's over with. So regardless, and even with the good plays, you can't be too high, you can't be too low. Like because if you just celebrating and you worried about what you did on that play when you got a pick, like it's gonna come a play where you don't get a pick, you can get scored on, and then now you just fucked up all the way. So
Yeah.
I feel like on the field you have to have a snap and clear mentality, but also like with the self talk, like you gotta talk to yourself all the time. Like whatever you feel like helps you get back in locked in mode, or whatever helps you snap and clear, or whatever helps you get ready for this play, or whatever like you're watching, whatever helps you see things that you didn't normally see, or whatever, like you got to be talking to yourself out there too. That's my advice.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that 100%.
But yeah, they I feel like the kids now, they like you said, people would laugh at you for like taking walks or playing video. I just feel like now these kids are so caught up in how people view you. Like
Yeah.
they're scared to be embarrassed. Like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, for being different. Like, and it's not embarrassing to be different. They just make it seem like that's an embarrassment to be different or do something different. Like I don't understand that. Like my little she's my little cousin, but I call her my niece. She texts me and she's just like, people think I'm weird because I talk to myself. And I'm just like, that's not weird. And I
Yeah.
said, and if it is, then be weird. Like I'd
Right.
rather be weird than be fit in with everybody else. Like I talk, and I told her I talk to myself all the time. Like people might laugh at me or think I'm weird. I don't care. Like that's what helps me. Like
Right.
so that's what you need to do. Like for
Yeah.
sure. I love all y'all. I can't let y'all know that. What? We appreciate you,
Yeah.
man. Or maybe you
I-
talking to all them because they on here going back and forth with all the comments.
Uh,
We got the Minister Sports crew in here. I think we appreciate you, Zach and Chris. They bringing everybody in here. They in here going crazy.
that's funny.
Crow was talking about that with finding activities on campus. Yeah, it's a lot. Man, I mean, shit. If you had a big college, like, there's so many things to do on campus. Now, I can't speak for other schools, but like for us, like we had a lot to do.
Yeah.
Like there was so
Yeah.
many things to do.
Yeah. Too much to do. Honestly, I lived like 30 minutes off campus just because I just needed to be away.
Yeah, no, that's what I did. Like, cause I tried to live on campus. I don't know if you remember when I was at the View on
Yeah.
High Street, and I was just like, nah, that was right in the mix. I'm like, no, I need to get away. And then we moved off campus. That was the best thing, like just being
Yeah.
away from it.
I
It was
lived, I lived in Dublin with the rich folk.
Dublin. Dublin was nice.
It was
And that's where
nice.
Coach Meyer lived too, right?
Yeah, I lived
You
like
live in Dublin?
20 minutes. Yeah.
Coach Meyer. I remember when we went to his house. The house across the street had gold doors. I was
Yeah,
like,
bro.
oh yeah, they lit.
This is a different type of money, but I can't comprehend. No, I can't comprehend this shit. I'm looking at this. I mean, I live in Los Angeles now, and
Man,
man,
that shit expensive.
like you know the Drake song when he said Sierra Canyon Sierra parking lots looking like Magic City parking lot.
Yeah.
That's real. They got G wagons. They got, man. It's like
Bro, that's how this
insane.
high school is looking though. Where I'm at,
Yeah,
man, this high school, these kids, like, they got everything. Like, I'm be looking like, dang, like, can I hold
right,
$1? Like, these mugs, they
right.
different now, bro.
I got I got
Everybody
a
got
I got a Hellcat. I got these little high school kids pulling up next to me. I'm like, you gotta practice. What you doing? Like, go do something, bro. Why you trying to race me? Why you got the
these
same car
kids
as me?
different, bro. These kids
Yeah,
is
nah.
different,
But
bro.
the one thing I kind of want to hit this too. The one thing that's super important. Like, kids these days are scared to compete, man. I think that's one thing that our generation, um, by doing all the camps, going to college campuses, doing, at the time we had the opening, we had FBU, guys just wanted to compete. They just wanted to go against the best of the best. I remember I went to a UVA camp, and It was me, Ronald Darby, and there was another person that was there too that was top in our class. And I had, this is my junior year, I had ran a 4.44. And Darby was like all track dude. He came in there and ran a 4.37. Now, granted, obviously these times were in college, so a little buffer. But the point is that I wanted to run again because I wanted to beat him. Like,
exactly.
And I wanted that competitive spirit. Any camp that Stefan went to, especially when we were younger, like we were freshmen and sophomores, we were in the same class. I wanted to be at every single camp that he was at because I wanted to go against the best. And now we have kids that don't even want to go to camps because they don't want to get embarrassed. They don't want to get beat on a rep. Like they got their 4-star. They're scared they're going to lose their 4-star if they get beat on a rep at a camp. And I'm like, man, don't create that habit of being scared to compete. Like if someone, I think that's what, and I think Quincy Avery said this, and so profound. Arch Manning not going to any of the camps, not doing the Elite 11, I think hurt his development because when you're around other top guys in your class, especially, it gives you a mindset of like, I need to get better, or, ooh, they did a good throw, I'm going to throw an even better ball. And having that mentality of always competing against not just yourself, but your peers, I think is a huge thing. And I think this is what this generation is lacking. That's the beauty, and there's blessings and curse for 7-on-7. But I think the beauty of it is guys are going out there and competing. Now the curses of it is, they're losing their fundamental skills. But going out there and competing every single rep, I think is super important. And, my advice to any kid is don't ever turn down a camp, whether it's a college camp, whether it's one of these, camps in the springtime. Don't turn them down. Go out there and show that you can compete because that's going to make you a better player.
Yeah, no, I feel that, bro. And that's kind of goes back to what I said about being embarrassed. I feel like part of it is like because they don't want to be embarrassed of losing. Yeah. Like that's competing. You're going to lose when you compete at some point. Like there's nobody that hasn't lost. And I tell them all the time, your favorite corner, your favorite basketball player got dunked on, your favorite corner has got scored on or ran over, or your favorite quarterback has thrown an interception, your favorite wide receiver has got locked up. Like everybody's going to lose a rep at some point. So don't be embarrassed or be scared to lose. Like you got to compete out there. And I feel like that's the main thing. Like you said, like these kids are just scared to compete. Like, and that comes from, and this is the camps, like anybody, when he puts out the schedule, I'm going to post his Instagram too. Like when he puts the schedule out, y'all get y'all kids, for parents who are paying attention to the stream right now and kids who are paying attention, like y'all got to go there and check out the camp, like to get real coaching and real expertise and be in a competitive environment. Like y'all need to lock in for real. Like, cause I feel like a lot of kids, like you said, aren't competing, but it's a lot of leaders that aren't teaching these kids how to compete or how to be mentally tough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, for sure. So
in the video social media world now, kids get cooked and it goes viral. Yep, we fail more in life than succeed. That's how we get better. But they're young and just don't know no better. Yeah, and that's why I put it on us, like as leaders. Like the leaders now, like we are the ones who gotta teach them how to be mentally tough. But teach them like it's okay to fail. Like. We're not doing that on social media. It's just showing a fake life and everybody winning all the time. Like that ain't it.
I like seeing kids there lose reps because that's my opportunity to teach them. Because if they keep winning, even in reps that you win, there's still things that you can do better. Like I'll see DBs get beat at the line, and then a quarterback throws a bad ball. And then they're doing this.
I fucking hate that shit.
I'm like, bro, you did this wrong. But you didn't catch the ball, coach. No. What's more important, your technique, your fundamentals, or him not catching the ball because the quarterback threw a bad ball? I was like, you got beat. Like
exactly. And what's gonna happen when the quarterback does throw a good ball, or the receiver is a better receiver? Like now,
you sitting there doing the seatbelt shit, like man.
That shit pisses me off. So, because when I would get cooked and the quarterback threw a bad ball or got like a sack or something, I'd be like, oh shit. Like, yeah, he just fucked me up. Like, let me lock in. Like, I would never do no fucking celebration. Like,
You be looking around like, anybody see that shit? God damn, I just got my ass mollywop.
I ain't doing no celebration. Like, you tripping?
Hell no.
They wild, bro. These kids are different, man.
Yeah.
But I definitely appreciate like somebody else. Obviously, we come from that environment though, like to just be mentally tough, but to be transparent and be like real with these kids, like that's the best way to help them. Like it ain't to baby them or just tell them how good they are all the time. Like obviously, you got to have a balance with giving them props or giving them credit and all that, but you got to keep them humble and you got to keep them hungry. Like because a lot of kids now, and going back to what I said about the leaders, like us, our generation, we are trying to provide our kids or the youth with this non-struggle life, which I understand because I had this at one point as a father. Like my kid's not ever gonna see struggle. Like I don't want him to go through what I went through. I want him to have all this. I'm gonna spoil my kid, blah blah blah. But it's like you gotta have some type of boundaries or barriers, like where you don't entitle them and teach them how to work and how to earn. Like you don't have to. My kid's not gonna be homeless or nothing like that, but he's gonna earn his iPad. He's gonna earn like he's gonna understand sports is a privilege. I feel like that's one thing. Like kids don't think sports is a privilege still, and I feel like that's where we need to get better at as leaders. I feel like in our generation as parents and leaders of the youth, because we're just making them get this glamorous look at life and it's not like that. And then they're not going to be able to handle it when they go off to college and they getting cussed out or not getting the opportunities that they felt they deserve, or regardless of sports, when they go into life and they got to work for somebody or work in a job place. Like you're not going to have this glamorous entitlement to where you can just do whatever you want and get whatever you want. And then what's going to happen when you actually get punched in the mouth, like not physically, but just like mentally at work, wherever you are, sports or not, like, are you going to be able to handle it? Like we got to do that more as leaders and as parents for sure.
Yeah. Everyone has someone that, you know, can put them in their place, and everyone's always got someone to answer to. And you got to be able to take that, you know, that message and understand the message and not see, you know, they're just getting on you and yelling at you. There's always a fine line. And I think that line is getting blurred with these kids. One, because like you said, parents are trying to protect their child. There's a time and a place to protect your child. And that's no way of me saying, you know, how to parent someone's kid, but you want to prepare them for, you know, the trials and tribulations of life, because they're going to go through it no matter how much you try to protect them. They're going to go through things. What better place than a sport or football, basketball, whatever that sport may be, to let them fail, let them learn adversity, let them come back. Because I'd rather be on the football field than real life and something really bad happens to them and they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sports is here to help you handle bad things that happen for you, because those are the things that you can control. You can control something that's why I like football practice. It's 3rd and 8. They know they're going to do a third down beater on you in cover 2. How are you gonna make the play, right?
Exactly.
And those moments, it's not just a football moment. That's a life moment. Yeah, it's for football for you to make that play for sure. But to have that mentality, like, hey, I know I'm supposed to get beat here, but I still got to make the play. Let's read through our progressions. Let's look at this stuff. Let's look at from a 3-2 standpoint. Okay, 2 and 3 are tight, one's wide. Okay, I'm gonna do a high-low. Okay, let me go ahead and squeeze down there so we can get that leg. Okay, guys coming back this way. I know if I go down, they're gonna get the guy over top. That's just the mindset that I have as a football player, right? But that mindset also goes into the businesses and different things that I do. Of like, all right, I got to make this decision here on here. Okay, my money's being allocated here. All right, cool. That money's not shouldn't go there. All right, my marketing's doing this. Okay, let's look at the market. Let's look at the data here and see how we can market a little bit better. See how we can do the content, all that stuff a little bit better. So, you know, the football stuff, yeah, it's a whole different game, right? But being able to compartmentalize and snap and clear and get back to what you need to get to at a time of adversity, the best place to do it is a sport, because that translates to real life.
Yeah, definitely. And my question to you is, do you feel like you learned that best at Ohio State?
Yeah. Nah, I mean, you got shit. the stuff that they put us through there, you had a split decision to make. Am I going to be soft or am I going to be a dude and I'm going to get this shit done? You had to make that decision. There's no one that was going to tell you that you can't. Like, you had to make that decision. So when we're doing Valentine's Day workouts and they're putting 15 plates on the leg press, you got a split decision right there. Am I going to be a fucking dude and just get it done and show that I'm trying, or am I just going to be a softie, and cry and I can't do this? All right, well, if you can't do this, how am I going to rely on you when it's fourth down and it's 4th and 2 and we got to stop them on the goal line and the crowd's buzzing in your ear? And I remember you crying on Valentine's Day because you didn't want to do the 15 plays, but I was supposed to trust you on 4th and 2 with the game on the line. No, fuck that. All that stuff translates, man. Like,
exactly, bro. Yeah, I tell people all the time, man. Like, Ohio State, it molded me. Like, I don't care what I went through in life. Like, after going to Ohio State, I could get through anything because I feel like that was the hardest shit mentally I ever went through. Like, obviously physically too, but just mentally, like, that shit was so hard that it prepared me for life. And I appreciate like Urban and everybody on the staff for like putting us through that, because that shit literally, like, I literally, like you said, I take it to everything in life. Like, when I go through something hard, I'm just like, man, this shit is easy. This is nothing compared to what I actually went through, like, mentally and physically at Ohio State. It's just different, bro.
It's just different. Like, I remember like the workouts that we used to do. My mindset for those workouts was I wanted to get to the point where it's easy. And then once it gets easy, I add on to it. Because I remember like going into my junior year, I used to do half those workouts with the weight vest on.
Yeah. And man, looking at you like, man, this nigga great.
Yeah. But like, that was my mindset, right? Of like, all right, like, while everyone's doing the workout, just getting through it, like, I want to go a step beyond that. Like, because if I can do it to that level mentally, then I know I can bring someone else to do it to that level mentally. And my goal was to always bring someone with me. So like, when I was working out, you would work out. You working out with me this week, like, and I put you through hell.
Man, I hated it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone ever liked working out with me, but like,
get away from me, bro. Right. Right.
Come on, bro. Come on. We about to do 225 like 20 times. Like, nah, bro, I can't. Nah, come on. We got it. But I say all that to say, like, I think just not, and obviously someone did that to me, but putting people through that mindset of like, all right, if he can do that with this, then I can do it without that, and I want to get to his level. Right. I know, like, at Ohio State, like, there were guys that were, better than me or more gifted, but I pride myself on no one worked harder than me.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I pride myself on. And to this day, there's not that many people that I can sit there and look at like, you worked harder than me every single day.
Yeah.
And I take my to that in life. There's not many people out there that work harder than me. Now, are there things that I want to do in life and I'm still working towards? Absolutely. And I've done some great things, but like, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on working my ass off. You don't get to, the places that you get to without that mindset. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely feel that. And that's what I learned from you and obviously other people. Like, I feel like, because I was one of those guys that was like gifted athletically and talented. And that's why I tell a lot of kids that I train from experience. I'm not, because I be lecturing them obviously, but I be telling, like, I'm not telling y'all this from a stance where I'm like, oh, I just knew everything. I'm telling y'all from experience because I learned it, because I was doing some of the shit that y'all are doing. I was lazy as fuck. I would try to cut corners and workouts because I was gifted athletically. I can make up for it athletically. But when I got to Ohio State and started to play, it was like, you got a lot more people that are like you, bro. Like, so you got to put in this work and you got to understand, like, it ain't just about what you are gifted with. It's about what you're going to do with those gifts and how you're going to push those gifts further. Like you said, I'm going to try to make this harder so I can get better. You know what I'm saying? Right. So once I got to that point where I was like you said, working out with you, or, working out with Coach Parker, because, everybody hated to work out with Coach Parker. Yeah. Everybody want to work out with Yuli. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to work out with him because, you know, you could get over, you know what I'm saying? But it got to the point where it was like, all right, I want to work out with Coach Parker because I know I'm about to whoop my ass today. Like, I want to work out with Coach Big. I want to work out with Court. Like, I want to work out with those guys who are about to watch every little thing because they about to make me get to the league. Like, at some point, you got to get to that point. But obviously, everybody has their time, different times when they get to that point. But my main goal is to just teach these kids, like, to get to that point sooner rather than later. Like, that's the whole point. I feel like it is for the youth to teach them the things that you learn, for them to learn at an early age so they can be better than you. Like, that's my main goal. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Man.
Yeah, smash that like button for sure. I appreciate everybody joining in, man. Definitely appreciate you coming on, brother. Like, it's been good to catch up. Gotta link up at some point for sure.
Yeah, no, we'll get you out to one of the events. Obviously, we'd love to have you. You know, your guidance and everything I taught you, you can teach them. So,
no, you definitely taught me a lot, man. And what's crazy is, I don't know if you remember, like, me playing nickel in 2016, but I remember all the stuff that you would teach me at nickel, like, and I used that year. And then obviously whenever I would be in the slot in the league, like, that shit helped me a lot. And just being around you and Roby and Tyvis and Durant, like, I just feel like, man, our fucking group, like, we just had so many dudes, like you said, like, and I don't think people understand when you keep saying dude, like, that's an Ohio State thing. Like, being a dude, like, you just a tough ass, mentally sharp, like, just locked in player, like, just person, just in general. Like, you just a dog. Like, that's what a dude is. We had so many dudes in our group, bro. Regardless of people who went first round or not, like, we just had so many people that we just competitive and we wanted to get better, like, at life, not just football. Like, and to see everybody that was in our group, like, from every year, just doing our thing, like, on and off the field, outside of football, is just amazing to see, bro.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. And I mean, all credit to the coaches for creating that culture, but also us as players keeping that culture. And I mean, we, at the end of the day, it's on the players to keep that going. And I feel like even to this day, that BIA pride is still there. But it started even before, you know, Coach Meyer got there, to the Malcolm Jenkins and those guys before us. But, you know, to be a part of being able to keep that tradition going, it was a true blessing, man. You know, I never would have thought in a million years that, you know, playing at Ohio State, whatever happened, but just to be able to be a part of that brotherhood and that legacy, I mean, that's a blessing, man. And all the great things that it's taught me and it's gotten me, you know, I wouldn't change that shit for the world. Even though I didn't get to the ultimate goal of playing in the NFL, I've helped a lot of people get to their ultimate goals of, you know, playing in college, getting a degree. Some guys are in the NFL now. So, you know, that part of the journey, you know, I'm more happy about than actually, you know, going through it myself.
Yeah. No, yeah, respect, bro. Definitely got some dogs and some dudes. Like, the brotherhood is definitely different over here, man. BIA still here. Yeah, we still here. We always gonna be here, man. Definitely. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. Appreciate everybody who tuned in. Definitely keep tuning in. Like I said, we're gonna be more consistent. We talked about this content shit. This shit hard, man. Give props to all you content creators and podcasters and photographers, all that. Like, this shit is tough. But we're gonna keep at it. Another episode of Different Views featuring Armani Reeves, the best nickel in America. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man. I love.
All right. In the stream. I did not end the stream.